All right, everyone, welcome back to Stories by Tim. Um, it's been a few days. I've been a little busy. I'm happy to say that I did do something this week that impressed even me. I did pass my ServSafe test, so I am now certified for ServSafe. So I'm good until 2030. I don't have to take that exam again for the next 5 years. I ended up with an A minus on the test, which you only need a C minus, truthfully, to pass it. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that and getting that done. So let's talk tonight um, about one of my early jobs. Um, my first job was at Crooked Creek. I have a lot of stories about there, but that's not where I'm going tonight. While I was working at Crooked Creek, um, my best friend Sean and I, we would alternate going to movies, going to Showbiz Pizza. We played a lot of video games back in the day. Um, and one night he asked me, "Do you like to roller skate?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So we went there, and we were there at least 2 nights a week. We would either go to Showbiz before or go to Showbiz after. Um, I mean, there were a few times we took a night off and went to a movie instead. I did see um, the third Indiana Jones movie with him. Spaceballs, I saw with him. RoboCop. RoboCop is probably one of the movies I remember most because neither of us knew anything about it and how iconic it has become in our culture in the industry. Um, the fact that they actually did a remake of it says a lot about it. But no, we did not know anything about that movie before we saw it. Uh, yeah, it was that good. Um, but anyway, back to roller skating. So, Sean graduated a year before me, and I still wanted to go there and do stuff. Well, I was there so much that they finally asked me, "Would you like a job?" And I'm like, "I'm here anyway. Why not?" So I got to be DJ of the roller rink for 2 years. It was a very interesting experience. Um, being the fan of so many young females, I'll just leave it at that. And no, nothing ever happened with any of the young females. I will also say that. But um, you know, having everybody come up to me asking for song requests, telling me what a great job I was doing, that was fun. Um, I did two all nighters. One at Fashion Score Skating Center, which is no longer there. It's now a part of Marley. The other at Brockway. One was an Easter overnighter. Uh, I forget what the other one was. I think it might have been New Year's, but don't quote me on that. But um, it was fun doing those things. Uh, there were times I would go out with skates on and be in between songs while a song was playing. I would go out and monitor the skaters. That's the thing. Um, Back in those days, I don't know if it still goes on. I haven't been to a roller rink in, gosh, since I left there. It's been, God, that's been 35 years, maybe more, since I did that. But we would go out and kind of monitor the skaters in that. Um, but, and then at the end of the night, after everybody left, I would go out and I had to sweep the entire roller rink floor. It brings back memories for me now because when I close at where I work now, there are nights that I have to do that with a lobby and then mop it and then do the back line and do the kitchen, sweep all that and mop it. It brings back memories of those days when I wasn't even 18 at that point, but yet I was willing to do the stuff that was asked of me. And did I enjoy it? No. Do I enjoy it now? Also no. I really to this day do not like to sweep and mop. Will I do it? Yes. Um that's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing. But that job was very interesting to me. Um I would get sporadic raises based upon what I was doing. I never asked for a raise. I have never asked for a raise in my life. If I get a raise, great. That certifies to me that I do know what I'm doing. I do know my job and that I'm doing well at it. Hey, no, down. Okay. Sorry, I had to yell at a cat. I'm managing cats. Try managing cats. It's not fun. It's not fun. But getting back to what I was saying, you know, when you do get a raise, it just solidifies that yes, you're doing the right things. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You should never ever in your life have to ask for a raise. Do your job. Let them know you want to advance. Let them know you want to get better. Let them know what you want to improve on. But don't ask for a raise. That is, in my opinion, it. Okay, I'll back off on this for a second. But that's just not the right way to do things. Yeah. You get a raise. You get a raise. You do your job. You do your job. And I'll tell you what. Over the years that I've worked, when you do your job and it's being seen you're doing your job, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a raise. You don't need to ask for it. You just do your job. But anyway, so back to the roller skating. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that job. I had a lot of young teenage groupies that would come up and, like I said, ask for songs and such. But I learned how to do the concession stand there as well. I did that as well. But it was I was there all the time anyway. It's like, why not? Let's do this. Um, but my last night there, when I finally let them know that I was leaving and that I was going to be done. They let me bring in a little bit of my own music. And of course, I got their approval before I played any of it, but um, it, you know, it was kind of fun being my last night there. I have a couple of pictures that I took with the camera I had at the time. And this is get down from there. Gosh, you don't listen. All right. Um, but I got their approval before I played any of them because, you had to do that at that point in time. Um, it wasn't, where we could just play whatever we wanted to. They had their music. Um, there were a few songs that I would play that were approved, and they weren't always loved. Um, Seasons in the Sun is one of them. I'm sorry, people that skated at that time that I played that all the time. Um, we just, you kind of get a mix of things. I mean, we had couple skates, we had girls only, we had guys only. Um, One of the songs I like to end of the night with was Father Figure. It was the right tempo, the right um, way to kind of end the night. It maybe not appropriate, but it just let everybody know, hey, we're done for the night. Girls only skate. I hate to say it. I usually played Motley Crue. Girls, girls, girls. It just it was fitting at the time. I mean, we're talking late '80s. It was fitting. The boys, the guys skate was usually Wild Side, also by Motley Crue. Um, I really wish that Kickstart My Heart would have been out when I DJ'd because that would have been the guys skate song. Um, I also wish that Katy Perry's "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It" would have been out then as well because I would have played that for the girls skate. Yeah, there are songs that have come out since that I really wish would have been there when I DJ'd because I would have played the crap out of them. Smooth Criminal, not the Michael Jackson version, the oh gosh, what's the name of the band? I would have played the crap out of that. Um, that could have been a good song for that, but it was a good experience. It taught me a lot about multitasking because I was taking requests, I was getting the next song ready, I was, you know, there was a lot of things that were going on in my head when I was doing that job. Um, I thank the company I worked for. Unfortunately, they're not no longer there. Both um, Fashion Square Skating Center and Brockway are both closed now. Brockway lasted a little bit longer. Fashion Square Skating Center is now part of Morley. I went in there once to do something. I forget what it was, but it's a lot different than what it looked like then. Brockway has just shuttered its doors. The building is still there, but it's not doing anything right now, and I have a feeling before long it will be demolished and taken down. I love them very much. But I'm going to have to edit that part out. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good time. Like I said, I was working two jobs at the time. Only time in my life I've actually worked two jobs. It's it was good. It was a good experience, and I don't regret any part of it. I really don't. I do miss skating. I do. That's where I met Kristen back in '87 is when we actually met. We didn't officially start dating until '90. I had feelings for her before '90, and yeah, it. Looking back at that time, I should have asked her out for dates earlier. Thinking back on it, I really should have, but it, you know, wiser, smarter when you're older. You learn from experience. But that's kind of my takeaway from that is I should have asked her out earlier because when she told me she was dating somebody else, I was devastated. I really took that hard. This is something I haven't thought about in a long time because she and I we were very happily married for a long time. We started dating in '90, got married in '98. The divorce came around because of mistakes I made, and I will talk about that at a later time. And yes, I will talk about that. But um, we were done down. Gosh, dang it, cat. I don't know what's going on with the cat right now. I really don't. But we were done in 2021. The divorce didn't finalize until 23, but so we were together for over 30 years. I wish it could have been longer. I will always wish it could have been longer, but um, but yeah. So skating was a big part of my life. It was fun. It was athletic. I got very good at it. Um, Thank you to Kristen for teaching me how to backward skate. That was her. That was all her. That we did that. But um, a thank you too to the company I worked for giving me the opportunity to do what I did there. That was fun. I loved doing that. I still talk about it to this day that I was a DJ at a roller rink. I was a DJ. I got to play the music. I got to pick what you listen to. And too bad if you didn't get your song done. It was just one of those things. But yeah, I'm sad the place is gone. I'm sad that Brockway is gone as well. I only did a couple things there because the same family owned both businesses, so that's why I would go over to the other one as well. Um, I missed the all night skates; those were fun. I loved being part of those. I also loved being the DJ for those as well. And like I said, I did two of them. That was great. Loved it. will not ever forget those moments. Will not miss having, preteens and teens coming up to you and asking for certain songs and things like that. That was fun as well. It was not a hard job. Um, as I said, I learned to multitask, but I also learned that when the business shut down for the night, that's when the real work began. All the cleaning, all the stuff you had to do to shut down the business. That sticks with me to today. And that's why um, there are nights that when I close, I will be out, on time. There are nights that, like last night, when I'm there almost 2 hours late, because there's a certain level I want to leave that business at. I want to make sure that when I walk out the door, it's a business I want to walk into in the morning. Is that the right thing to do? I think it is. But I also have to look at labor costs as well now that I'm a manager. And, you know, um, we had a really good sales night last night. I was looking at numbers today, even though I have the day off, I still look at numbers that we had a good day today. But does that mean that I'm not going to look at labor costs tomorrow? No. I look at numbers all the time. And there's a certain percentage of labor that we need to come in under. And I do my best to make sure that that happens. I will send, people home. I will, ask them to leave early, just so that we can try to hit those numbers. Does it always work? No. But we do our best. We do our best. Last night, I didn't send anybody home early. We had enough business that I didn't need to. And we came in well above our projected sales goal. But I did have to keep another person a little later than I wanted to. And I shout out to him for staying and getting done what he got done. But we both were out before midnight. Even though we close at 9, we had customers in right up until close. We could not get a lot of our closing things done prior like we normally do. So yeah, it was one of those nights. It was one of those nights. But that being said, the team that I had did work very hard, got things done. Maybe not as quickly as I would like, but we handled business. And when I walked out that door, while it wasn't probably my best close ever, there were a couple of things I wish I could have done a little bit better, but on the whole, I felt I got the business ready for business again the next day. And that's what it kind of comes down to for me, is when I walk out that door, I want them to have a really good day the next day. So, but anyway, I've kind of tangered off from my original story about the roller rink. Yeah, it was a good business to work for. they were sad when I told them that I was leaving, but it was the right thing for me at that time to do. Was, to kind of step away and focus on school, focus on college, um, just move away from that end of things. Um, I was not working there when Kristen and I met again, but that night, wow, I guess I should save that story for another day. I think I will. I'll just leave things here now. So, well, thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the alarm, the bell, as they say, ring the bell, um, so you can get updates as to when I post new things. And thank you for tuning in and listening to Stories by Tim. Thank you so much.